Number 2, determine the equation of the tangent to the curve y is equal to sine x over cos 2x at the point pi over 6, comma 1. And then write your final answer in general form. Okay, so we've done ones like this before, right? But now we're dealing with a trig function instead. So if I want to write it out as a line, then really you always need two things. You need a point. I'm going to need like an x value and a y value. But then I'm also going to need the slope. Okay, well I need the derivative, right? So I need the slope. So therefore, I need to find the derivative. Okay. All right, so let's start. So we'll say dy dx. We haven't used that in a while. Let's write it out. Let's write it out that way. Okay, so now if I'm taking the derivative of this, right? So this would be my f and this would be my g. I'm going to use the quotient rule for this one. Okay, so this would be, well, let's remind ourselves here. This was, quotient rule was g times f prime minus f times g prime all over g squared. Okay. So applying this to our situation, this would be cos 2x, right? That's just g, times cos x, the derivative of sine, plus sine x, right? Just f, and then the derivative of g. Oops, sorry, and I wrote plus one. Should I wrote minus? So anyway, so sine x, and then times the derivative of g would be negative sine 2x times 2. Just derivative of the inside, right? And then that's all over cos 2x and then squared. Okay, so let's simplify this up a little bit. So this would be cos 2x, this one doesn't really change, cos 2x, cos x. And now this would become plus, right? Because I got that minus in there in that one. So now plus, I'm going to write this as 2 sine 2x and then sine x all over cos 2x, and then that's all squared. Okay, so now we're set up pretty well because we actually want to get a number out of this, right? So in this case, remember what x was. X is pi over 6 because we want to figure out what the slope of the line is at that value of x, right, at that point. Okay, so let's use that. So we're going to be throwing that in for all of our x's. So this would become cos 2 times pi over 6, and then cos, do that, and then cos pi over 6 plus 2 times sine 2 pi over 6, and then sine pi over 6. And then that is all over cos of 2 pi over 6. And then that's all squared. All right, so now the good thing is we know what those are, right? This is really the unit circle is what we should be thinking here. Because cos of 2 times pi over 6, well, that would be the same thing, just canceling that, right? That'd be pi over 3. So what is cos pi over 3? Well, that would be a half. Okay. And then on to the next one. So cos pi over 6, that would be root 3 over 2. That's the x value when cos is, or when the angle's pi over 6. All right, moving on. So then plus 2. Now the same thing, right? Sine of 2 times pi over 6. Well, that's really, the 2 and the 6 simplify. That's pi over 3. So what's sine of pi over 3? That's root 3 over 2. And then the last part here is sine pi over 6. That would be a half. All over. Now, looking down here again, cos 2 times pi over 6, that's really pi over 3. Okay, so that's going to be a half. But then we're squaring that. All right, we can do that. Let's simplify this first part up a bit. That would be root 3 over 4 plus 2 root 3 over 4. And then that's all over. And then squaring the bottom there would be 1 over 4. Okay. Now, you could simplify the top there, right? Put it all over a common denominator. So that'd be root 3 plus 2 root 3 over 4 all over 1 over 4. Now you can probably see right now that we can just cancel those, but if you like, we can flip that around. That'd be, I'm going to need lots of room for the next part anyway. So that's going to be root 3 plus 2 root 3. Well, actually, why don't we just combine those right now? Let's call that 3 root 3 and then over 4 times, and then flip this, right? When we're dividing by a fraction, we'll multiply by the reciprocal, so that'd be 4 over 1. So our 4's cancel. So this is just 3 root 3. Okay, and what was that? That was our slope. Okay, that was our derivative. That was our slope of our line, right? So now we kind of have everything we need. We have an x value and a y value and a slope. So back to grade 10 math, right? We've done these. So let's start off with our point form. So point slope form. So y minus y1 is equal to m x minus x1. And then we'll just kind of throw in everything we know. So this would be y minus 1. Okay, so if you know where that's from, that's just our y value here, right? So 1. Our slope, we now know, is 3 root 3. And then x, and then our x value there was pi over 6. So minus pi over 6. Okay, I'm going to write this part again. Y minus 1 is equal to. Now I'm going to expand this one out. So this would be 3 root 3 times x minus 3 root 3 times pi over 6. Now I'm going to write it all again. Y minus 1 is equal to 3 root 3 times x, and then just cancel the 3 and the x, right, leaving a 2. So that would be minus root 3 times pi over 2. Now if I want this in general form, then I don't want fractions. Okay, so I got to get rid of that 2 in the denominator. So I'm just going to multiply everything by 2. So multiply this by 2, this by 2, this by 2, and this by 2. So now we've got 2y minus 2 is equal to 6 root 3x, and then those cancel. So minus root 3 times pi. Now we're pretty much there. So we just want to leave like a positive x value. So I'm just going to get it's already positive over here, so I'll just leave it on the right side. Bring these two over to the right side. So we've got 0 is equal to 6 root 3 x, and then minus 2y. And then the last part you might not know what to do with here. You just have to leave it the way it is. It would just be, so it would be positive 2 and then minus root 3 times pi. This is like my c value. The two of those together would be your c. Right? That's just the most accurate way to leave it.